Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest critic of all? The fairest critic of them all is Chris Stuckman. Yes, the magic mirror made an appearance and reminded me that I am just a basic bias critic on YouTube, but that's okay because we're talking about Snow White from Disney, live action, finally hitting theaters this weekend, and I gotta say, that mirror in the intro was probably more magical than this whole entire movie. Because if there's one thing I'll say about this movie, Snow White, this live action adaptation, it's that it just felt like it was there. Rachel Zegler playing Snow White has a beautiful singing voice. You know that if you watch the most recent Hunger Games movie, or definitely during West Side Story. And she delivers a lot of great song, musical performance, and notes throughout here. But the song choices that these writers gave, and kind of just the blandness of the score and the musical scope of this movie that's trying to be a musical, just came across as very basic, bland, and just didn't work overall. At least for me. I think Zegler's giving the exact type of performance that maybe they're pushing in this movie because these songs aren't giving a special magical energy that builds Snow White up. And when Zegler's given some of the source material, like the whistle song with the dwarves, she absolutely shines in the role, and you can see that magic kind of come out. It's just a shame that in this very rewritten, in terms of not a classic Disney remake angle, live action movie, it just misses the elements that makes some of these classics have that magic. Halle Berry had it, I think, the whole entire time as Ariel. I even think Emma Watson had it as Belle in Beauty and the Beast. But something about Snow White here, you just did not get that magical sense of the world and that Disney magic throughout. Gal Gadot as the evil queen is exactly what I just said. She's playing the evil queen, and it's so one note, so one basic. It could be partly Gal Gadot's performance that isn't good, and it could be partly the writing itself just being very static and bad. I'm not sure which one's to blame, because as much as I want to blame Gadot, the writing wasn't exactly static and more lively for Zegler's Snow White throughout the whole entire movie. The movie is very stagnant with its writing to begin with. And it just leaves a very unlayered villain, unlayered adversary for this whole entire time that you don't really grow any interest or care for. She's evil, and she's just evil, and she just wants to be the fairest of them all, the prettiest of them all, and there's nothing else there going with that per se. And mixed in with this very stonewalled written character and stonewall written performance is a very flamboyant musical act at one point that, again, people will say Gal Gadot didn't sing well, but I just think the whole entire, that character moment just seems so out of place because we haven't seen this queen written to be anything more than just stoic and evil and no emotions per se besides wanting the things for herself. The dwarves throughout, I thought, again, they weren't as big as part of this as maybe the original movie, given that this was such a rewrite, and, Snow White's potential love interest in this movie, Jonathan, is rewritten in a whole different, is rewritten as a brand new character here. The dwarves are fine. I think, I wish they were on the screen more. I wish we got more of them in this movie. But the movie wasn't trying to be exactly like the original, and there's some good with that. I don't think everybody loves seeing shot for shot remakes, but so much of the songs outside of the original ones, the score and the musical elements were just so basic and bland that you couldn't get that magic involved. You couldn't get that warm feeling involved. Like I said, the only sequences that you really felt that for me was a little bit with the old-fashioned hi-ho and the whistle while you work, in the part of the movie where that was like a breath of fresh air, kind of smack dab in the middle, and you're like, oh, is the magic coming? Is the magic coming? No, because Snow White characters moves on just from that. The movie, though, overall doesn't have terrible production design. The costume of Snow White works well. I just wish the movie, especially the beginning of the movie, had more life involved. I do think coming after Wicked and having a musical intro after seeing, like, that Wicked intro of No One Mourns the Wicked, it just feels like this was phoned in. And it wasn't really trying to capture that special spirit. And as somebody who never was a big fan of the Greatest Showman movie, I can acknowledge there's some songs in there that are nice, but most of these songs are just the same old beat. I'm gonna sing for this reason, and you're gonna sing at the same pace, and we'll keep singing in this rhythm anytime it's original to the song. That's it. Like, it was always going like that between the characters. There was no special feeling to them. And the one kind of musical act they had with Snow White and the love interest just felt a little bit out of place editing-wise. Again, this movie wasn't bad. It wasn't like I had a bad time here, but it wasn't anything special. And I think when you attach a animated remake of a Disney movie and you just have a Disney princess movie in general, you want that special feeling, and the music didn't bring it. The acting performances really didn't bring it, and the script definitely didn't bring it. The score didn't bring it, and it just leaves me with the bad choice of having to give Snow White a basic silver rating. Not offensive and bad enough that people can't enjoy this, but I don't know if there's any special spark in there that gives anybody a reason why they should be able to see this. But I'm excited to see anybody in the comments tell me how they feel. I know there's a lot of controversy around this movie. The CGI dwarves takes a while to get used to. I do agree with that, and it feels so out of place with the rest of this world. Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, for any side politically, seems to have their haters, which is kind of, sad that people are trying to bring politics and just who's being casted in movies in different ways. But yeah, silver rating from me, and I will keep trekking on this year, and like the dwarves in Snow White, I'm going to go back to work mining away to try and find that magical special gem in 2025. We've yet to find it yet. Alto Nights is here this weekend. Maybe I'll get a chance to see that and review it. That doesn't give me much high hopes. And we have things like Minecraft coming in a couple weeks. But thank you for stopping by the channel, and give it a like and subscribe if you want fun content like this. We'll just keep going at it for the rest of 2025 here.